What is up, YouTube? It's been a while since I've posted something. I was actually on vacation and I just got back, so these are going to become a more regular thing here on YouTube. So starting off with today, August 4th, there were two trades that you could have taken according to my entry model that I teach everybody. The one that I actually took was here at the end of the day, and I only took it as a scalp because I don't usually like to mess with that end of day macro because it's been pretty hit or miss for me. It tends to have a lot of volatility and very manipulative in the sense that it stops people out more often than not. But I have noticed in the past that if the other macros do not provide a setup or a decent setup, that last hour tends to be the one that gives that setup that we're looking for. So coming into today, we obviously had a very bullish bias here on NASDAQ. And the reason why was because we had this 4-hour fair value gap right here that we actually invalidated at 10 o'clock. So because of that, that further added into my bullish bias. What I was looking for price to do was to fill in that 4-hour FEG. So here at 290.25, I was looking for that to be my draw on liquidity for the day. If we take a look at the hourly chart, same thinking. You know, we have this bearish 1-hour fair value gap that gets created right here, where here in the pre-market at 9 o'clock, we do invalidate that as well. And as you can see, we have some bullish fair value gaps, I believe. Very small. Actually, I wouldn't even count that as one. But we had one right here that if that got invalidated, then I would look for price to reject out of this area, especially if we don't invalidate this bearish one right here. On the 15-minute time frame, same exact thing. We have a lot of bullish structure. The order flow wasn't that bullish because we were disrespecting bullish fair value gaps as well. But once we got the open in the New York session, as you can see, we had very bullish order flow. We had this 15-minute fair value gap created that got respected. This one got extremely respected, and I can tell you that there were a lot of people trying to short in this area here. And then also we had this 15-minute fair value gap where we pushed out of, which aided in my bullish bias to target a long in that last hour macro. So I don't usually like to trade the pre-market macro, which is the one that is at 8:50 in the morning. But as you can see, like I said, everything was very bullish overall on the higher time frames. Like I said, although the bullish order flow wasn't totally there, the structure was, and it was clear that price wanted to retrace higher. So as you can see, we had this 1-minute bearish fair value gap that was created outside of the macro. Not ideal. I don't consider that A+, but it's still an A setup. You can definitely take that. This candle right here was the one that created the inversion. So as soon as that gets created is usually when I'm entering in. The safe place to have put your stop would have been this swing low. And as you can see, this quickly hit a 1 to 2, even a 1 to 3 after the market opened. And if you had held that all the way to the draw on liquidity, that would have been a 1 to 14.5 risk to reward. So once you hit your 1 to 2, you put your stops to break even on your runner and you just let that thing go. And as you can see, that hit at the very last hour there for a 1 to 14.5. That one contract would have paid you about $420. So that would have been an insane return on just one contract. Good job for anybody who caught that on in my team. You know, you guys know if you did, so that's awesome. So now coming into the 950 macro, I'm obviously very bullish, and what I'm looking for is a bullish setup to now target into that 290 level that I mentioned before. So what is it that I look for? I look for a bearish fair value gap to get inversed. Ideally, I want that to get created inside of the macro and then inversed also inside of the macro. And as you can see, none of that happened here for the 950 macro. Same thinking for the 1050, especially because we have this 15-minute fair value gap right there, as well as the one below it where we tap into and get a nice little reaction out of it. But as you can see, the only bearish fair value gap created inside the macro was this one, and it did not get invalidated. So there was no entry whatsoever. Very frustrating, of course. And then coming into the lunch macro, again, same thing. No bearish fair value gap. None. So there was no entry. So now coming into that New York PM session macro, I'm still looking for longs because there is no reason to go short. The order flow is bullish. The structure is bullish. Why look for a short setup in that? I mean, we're not trying to time the top here. I know a lot of traders will want to do that. They'll be enticed into going short when they see rejections like this. But that is just what it is. It's a retracement. It's not a rejection. It's not a reversal. The order flow on the higher time frame is still bullish. Don't be looking for shorts. Here, same thing. People were probably looking for shorts, and I, on the other hand, was looking for longs. So now this is where my A plus setup comes into play. We have bullish order flow, bullish structure. We get a 1 minute inversion fair value gap created inside of the macro. We actually even get a tap of it again. So I scalped this because, like I said, I don't really like to mess around with the end of day macro. But as you can see, this trade hit a 1 to 2 very nicely, even into the high of day. A 2.44 risk to reward. You really only need like a 1 to 1.5 a day to really be consistently profitable. Okay, so anything above that is just your runner's gonna hit that. But this was a beautiful trade, minimal drawdown. It was very nice, quick into the draw on liquidity, and it played out well. I mean, there was really not much else to look at here. So hopefully you guys ended up green. I hope this recap made sense to you. And as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. See you guys all tomorrow. Peace.